This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin with a major development tonight and a story that we have been following throughout the week. People who were forced out of an apartment building on College Avenue just off of Main Street will now be allowed back into their units. This after the residential tenancies branch stepped in. The CBC's Rosanna Hempel has been following the breaking developments late this afternoon.
Locksmiths and Winnipeg police are here on scene at an apartment building on College Avenue. Last weekend, dozens of people were forced from their suites with little notice. Earlier today, the residential tenancies branch gave the building's owner notice that it would be changing the locks and keys to let the tenants back in. Marion Willis with St. Boniface StreetLink says it's a significant step.
I'm thrilled. I mean, this has been, the story has changed on the daily, by the hour, but this is the best possible outcome and delivers a very clear message, to this fellow and anybody out there like him that you simply can't treat people like this.
A provincial government spokesperson told CBC News the provincial residential tenancies branch has served the building's owner with notice of violations for locking people out of their apartments without due process. They expect more charges are coming. Since people were told to move out, a handful have found new places to live. Willis says most have been staying with friends in homeless encampments and in hotels, which the province has offered to pay for.
It's possible that the building will lose a few of its tenants. I can't really say for sure, but I think people will be happy to go home. Having a home is far better than being homeless. I think it'll be kind of bittersweet. Sweet that they get to go back, bitter that they will be unlocking their doors to see that all their furniture, all their possessions are gone.
Devaney Hudson was a tenant there with her baby. She found out she could move back home after biking by Friday afternoon. She's relieved and surprised.
I want to see everybody come back home. That'd be awesome.
Earlier today, CBC did reach the building's owner, Kelly Vasses, through his lawyer, who told us no comment. A provincial government spokesperson says it's hired security for the building throughout the weekend so tenants can move back in. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, now to the latest on a global technology outage causing massive disruptions for companies and services around the world, including here in our province. It is affecting Microsoft operating systems and has been tied to a faulty software update by the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. We'll break down the local impacts of that outage just ahead, but the CBC's Katie Nicholson now on a chaotic day around the world.
A morning of chaos that swept across the globe.
Who is your representative? Who is your manager?
All because of a glitch in a routine software update.
It's quite crowded out there, as you can see. It's very hard to speak to the representatives.
From Bangkok to Berlin to Toronto, scenes of frustrated passengers.
You would think there'd be a backup plan someplace.
In the U.S., normally packed commercial airspace emptied out.
I am so upset right now.
Forcing those on the ground to hunker down and wait. It also hit banks around the world, including TD, which warned clients of delays.
CrowdStrike is aware of reports of crashes.
What all these companies have in common? CrowdStrike, a cybersecurity company.
I want to start with saying we're deeply sorry for the impact that we've caused to customers, to travelers, to anyone affected by this, including our companies.
Within hours, its CEO said the problem had been identified as a bug in an update from Microsoft systems. A fix was made available. The effects, though short-lived, were far-reaching. Many healthcare providers across Canada warned of disrupted services and appointments.
I went in there to pay a bill, which is due in a couple of days, and they're telling me the system is down.
And it turns out U.S. Customs is also a CrowdStrike client, resulting in long lines at the border. In the UK, one network bumped off the air. CBC News not immune. Many of our own teams greeted with this frowny face as their computers were fired up. Even the happiest place on earth couldn't escape the bug. Blue screens in Disneyland Paris.
As more companies implement the fix, the chaos is subsiding.
But questions about how this happened and what needs to be done to make sure something like this doesn't happen again are sure to linger. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
So there's the big picture. Now, we did see some of those issues felt here close to home as well. The CBC's Ian Fraze has been working the phones for us today and joins us in the newsroom. So Ian, walk us through the impacts here.
Here in Manitoba, the healthcare system impacted a little bit and also some online ticket sales. But we'll start with healthcare. The privately run DynaCare laboratories temporarily closed down today. This meant the hospital labs ended up being busier than usual. Some of those DynaCare labs, though, started to reopen by mid-afternoon. Ticket sales at some popular Winnipeg events were also impacted. The Fringe Festival couldn't sell any tickets online. People had to go to the door in person to buy their tickets. At last check, those issues remain, but again, that could change at any point. Baseball fans couldn't buy seats through the Goldeyes' own ticket system, but they could use Ticketmaster. That issue as well was resolved a few hours ago. And finally, Porter Airlines either canceled or delayed their handful of Winnipeg flights today. Most public bodies in the province weren't impacted by this outage. That includes the Manitoba government, the city, and the public healthcare system. Riley.
Thanks, Ian. CBC's Ian Fraze in the newsroom. 3 more victims have come forward in connection to a child exploitation investigation in Portage la Prairie. Initially, RCMP said 2 15-year-old girls had been befriended by a woman who offered them drugs and money to hang out with some friends. Well, police now say 3 additional victims have come forward. 7 people had been arrested, but RCMP say charges against one of those people have now been dropped. The federal Conservatives have picked a candidate to run in the Elmwood-Transcona riding.
I'm not a politician. I'm a construction electrician and a proud member of IBW Local 2085.
Colin Reynolds said in this social media video, union members aren't being served by the confidence and supply agreement between the Liberals and NDP. The Elmwood-Transcona seat is traditionally NDP and was left vacant when Daniel Blakey resigned earlier this year. Transcona Biz Executive Director Leela Dance is running for the NDP. The Liberals haven't yet announced their candidate, and the date for that by-election also still needs to be set. Parks Canada has found another adult zebra mussel in Clear Lake. Snorkelers found it, as well as a zebra mussel shell, during an inspection near Boat Cove on Wednesday. This suggests the invasive species is further establishing itself in Riding Mountain National Park. Adult zebra mussels were first found in Clear Lake in 2023. Parks Canada is planning to install a curtain around the Boat Cove area and may still apply potash to that area in an effort to eradicate the mussels. Bangladesh has been gripped by violence this week, and it is being felt here. The unrest is over the government's quota system for public sector jobs. Students from the University of Manitoba's Bangladeshi Students Association gathered last evening to support protesters in their home country. The CBC's Zabina Ahmed was there.
Chanting slogans and raising their flags, a show of solidarity for protesters back home. More than 100 students from the University of Manitoba Bangladeshi Students Association gathered yesterday at Kirkbridge Park.
My body is here, but my mind, my everything is in my Bangladesh.
Protesters in Bangladesh are demanding their government abolish a quota system that reserves up to 30% of government jobs for families of those who fought for the country's freedom in the 1971 war with Pakistan. There have been relentless clashes between student protesters, security officials, and pro-government student activists. Dozens of people have been killed. Internet and mobile services have been severed.
Today morning, I was totally shattered. I couldn't connect to my parents. I was even trying to call them like on normal phone call, not even the internet. That was even not working. Like they jammed everything. They were using like signal jammer vehicle.
There is a quota. It might not affect me, but it might affect the future assets. I understand we should give privilege to the freedom fighters. They fought for us. We should give privilege to the sons and daughters of freedom fighters, but not so much that our merit doesn't show at some point.
Victoria Merkanjura is Ukrainian Canadian. She says she came here to show her support to the community.
As Canadians, it's our duty to and our right to use our privilege, to use our voices here while we have this in Canada, to speak up for those who are unheard.
Deep says they have prepared a formal petition to MP Terry Dogood, signed by 300 protesters. Dogood has promised them that he will submit the petition to the Foreign Affairs Minister. Zubina Ahmed, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, it's being called a powerful step toward reconciliation. Late this afternoon, the province signed a memorandum of understanding to return land that was taken from the Manitoba Métis. The site is northwest of St. Lazare. Between 1938 and 1942, the Métis community of St. Madeleine was dismantled to give farmers pasture land. Families who lived there were forced out and their homes were burned. Today, Premier Wab Kinew is there, along with the Manitoba Métis Federation, to sign an agreement to transfer 100 acres of Manitoba Crown land to the Métis. Brandon has its first Ukrainian twin city. The Wheat City is partnering with Chevrolet in Western Ukraine to exchange culture, sports, and support. Brandon has a long history with Ukraine, and the goal is to show solidarity during the Russian invasion. Brandon has welcomed more than 400 Ukrainian families since the war began. The agreement of twinness and cooperation is expected to be formally signed sometime in August. Well, the city is getting closer to completing its mosquito fogging program. Another 7 areas were fogged in the city last night. 11 are slated to be sprayed tonight, weather permitting. Buffer zones in those neighborhoods will be respected, as you can see, mainly in the northern part of the city. The city says fogging is expected to wrap up in the coming days. You can find a full list of the neighborhoods that are being sprayed tonight by heading to the city's website. All right, that leads us to a look at your weather forecast now. And if it wasn't the heat or the humidity, it was certainly the haze and the air quality in parts of the province tonight. So that's where we're going to start tonight, is with an air quality statement in place for the Pas, Flin Flon, north to Lynn Lake. That high pressure ridge I've been talking about this week has been really funneling in and kind of creating a highway for some of that smoke from northern Alberta and the Northwest Territories to funnel into northern Saskatchewan and northern Manitoba. This, of course, on top of a heat warning in northern Manitoba. Still looking at some warm conditions really province-wide for the next several days yet at least. A few little pop-up thunderstorms starting to develop into northwestern Ontario, particularly around Fort Frances that you can see there and sort of north of the Red Lake area. We do have a chance of that as we get through the evening hours tonight across southern Manitoba, but a better chance as we get into Saturday. So we start mainly sunny, but look what happens as we get into the afternoon here. Futurecast depicting the risk of thunderstorms and some pockets of rain through the later afternoon with the heat and the humidity. So keep your eyes on the skies tomorrow. Sunday, another mainly sunny day, maybe some precipitation through the north. Our next chance of some showers comes through Monday, though, here into southern Manitoba. I want to show you that wildfire smoke forecast. So as we get into the weekend, you can see those brighter colors starting to sink south. So into the day tomorrow, a good chance that we'll likely notice some of that haze in sort of Winnipeg into Brandon, but you can see some of those brighter colors even into the day Sunday through places like Thompson, the Pas, and Flin Flon. So air quality likely a concern right through the weekend for parts of northern Manitoba. 18 tonight in Winnipeg, a mostly clear sky, up to 23 first thing in the morning already, and warming up to 29. A hazy day tomorrow with some isolated thunderstorms, and we're looking at high 20s, even some low 30s as we get through the day on Saturday. 28s in both Brandon and Dauphin, 27 in Thompson. 31 for your Sunday, another hazy one. A chance of showers on Monday, and 28 degrees, partly cloudy for Tuesday. Your 7-day forecast is still ahead. Also still ahead tonight, after partially losing his vision in an accident, we meet a Beausejour man working to create a buzz in the region with a destination tourism business. We'll show you how, coming up next. A beekeeper near Beausejour says people are swarming to his hives for tours. He started the business after a life-changing accident and says the tours offer more than information about making honey. CBC's Emily Brass went to Golden Bay to see the bees.
They might look a little scary up close, but on the hot days of summer, bees can actually be quite sweet.
Let's check out this next frame here.
Beekeeper David Buss runs tours at his honey farm outside Beausejour.
The bees are great. They're happy. It's sunny. For me, I don't generally wear a suit on a day like this. All right, let's find you a suit, shall we?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, awesome.
But he's happy to help visitors suit up before they dive into the hives.
And it's going up into the high 20s today, and I'm going to be wearing a full suit. Good thing it's white. Don't want any cracks for the bees to get in.
No.
I want to be safe.
After fully covering up and getting the smoker ready.
All right, let's go into the hives.
I'm ready.
Awesome.
The smoke sends most stray bees back inside the box. They seem pretty unconcerned, working around us as the little flyers fulfill their destiny of supporting their queen.
So we're looking for that queen with a yellow spot. Do you see her, Emily?
I don't see her yet. They kind of look the same to me.
Oh, see, she's depositing an egg in there. See that?
Really?
Yep.
Buss says she'll lay about 2,000 eggs a day in the summer. Newborn worker bees are constantly emerging from the cells.
Oh my gosh, she's being born right now.
The hives also represent a new beginning for Buss.
This is where it gets a little difficult to talk about. 2022, I had a life-changing accident head-on. And I was very limited what I could do physically and visually. I mean, there's lots of bees on there.
So the former truck driver took a course in destination tourism and turned the sting of misfortune into a buzzing full-time gig.
That summer, I did over 100 tours. It went absolutely insane.
Summer camps and school groups have been swarming to the farm for field trips.
Let's check this frame here, shall we?
Buss lovingly cares for his hives, protecting them from dangers like varroa mites. The invasive parasites are one of the biggest threats to bees. Buss says pesticides are not a big concern in this part of the province, where few local farms do aerial spraying. Electric fences keep out predators like bears.
I've watched them. I know they've touched the fence, and they're just sitting outside the fence watching. And
To be fair, the taste of honey might tempt anyone to be more bold.
Okay, here I go. Oh, there's lots of bees.
Right in deep. There you go.
Oh my God, look at all that honey.
The bees stayed calm, even after that invasion.
Oh, wow. Well, that's the best honey I've ever tasted. It doesn't get fresher than that.
No.
Buss says the color and taste depend on which plants the insects forage.
My excuse for not cutting the grass? Leave it for the bees. Pull, there you go. Straight up, straight up.
Look at me. I'm practically a beekeeper now.
He says by the end of the tour, visitors like me are ready to bumble, and says bees have boosted his confidence too.
I've been probably all my life a bit of an introvert and afraid to talk to people, and it's definitely brought me out a little bit. Now you see why I enjoy doing the tours and right?
Buss hopes everyone leaves Golden Bay honey abuzz with enthusiasm for bees. Emily Brass, CBC News, Golden Bay, Manitoba.
If you went into a Blockbuster in the 90s or 2000s, you were getting Act 2 popcorn.
Well, take a movie, leave a movie. Still ahead, we meet a Winnipeg man who created a new community lending library inspired by Blockbuster. Stay with us. All right, with the heat and humidity, I thought I'd give you a bit of a beach day forecast for your Saturday. We're looking at partly cloudy conditions through the Kenora region, 26 degrees. Clear Lake at about 27 tomorrow. There is that risk of a thunderstorm as we head through the afternoon hours. And around Lake Winnipeg, looking at 26s and 27s. Mostly sunny tomorrow, but again, an isolated risk of a thunderstorm through the afternoon. A hazy weekend ahead for the south and the north of our province as well. 31 for Sunday, 29 for Monday, with a chance of showers. And then we're right around or just above 30 as we get into the later part of next week. Sunny skies on Thursday, 31 degrees, and 32 for your Friday with a partly cloudy sky. The experience of heading to a video store to rent a movie on a Friday night is long gone for many of us, but a Winnipeg man is helping bring back some of that nostalgia. AJ Ojina built his own little blockbuster video library, and that is tonight's Daily Lift.
Well, to start, they came out of my collection. This is crazy, but I'm not a huge movie buff. I do like to watch movies sometimes, so I didn't mind putting my collection up first. And it's been great to see other people bring theirs in too. You have the free Blockbuster logo here. Obviously, please return to the box. And yeah, it looked basically exactly like this on day one. And yeah, a lot of people just driving by, and you can see they're rubbernecking, and they're like, what is that? That looks cool. And lots of brakes are, squealing. Well, the easiest way to describe it is there's two IKEA bookcases inside that I built a cabinet around. In the back, there's a ton of electronics because each cabinet is wired with LEDs. This was 3D printed and also done with LEDs, so this all lights up at nighttime. The cases, it was a template that I got online. Somebody had actually made these before, and they do have like the free Blockbuster name. It's on the barcode. The address is here. And every time I get a new movie, all I do is I use the internet and I fill out all the information, screen time, ratings, the synopsis. If you went into a Blockbuster in the 90s or 2000s, you were getting Act 2 popcorn, so I had to put the actual popcorn in there.
How popular has the popcorn been?
Well, the first time I put it, it lasted the night, and the second time was gone throughout the day, so hopefully we'll see how long this one lasts. There are people that come all day long, they stop their car, they will go to the other side of the road and block traffic. It's been very crazy. It's amazing. It's doing exactly what it did to me, right? I saw it, I'm like, I need to do this. People are like, they're seeing the posts online and they're like, well, we got to come use it now. And they're using it properly, right? Take a movie, leave a movie, and it works out great.
So nobody's cleaned you out?
No, that's what we were all worried about. First night, someone take everything out, but it hasn't happened. The people in Winnipeg have been really great and fantastic about it.
Rio 2, I've watched it before. I just really like the movie, I watched the first one and the second one, except I fell asleep during the second one, so I didn't watch it fully. But I wanted to watch it, so I got it, because,
And you found it here in the free little Blockbuster.
Yeah, I think it's nice, especially for people like older people that don't use the new technology. I think it's nice. I truly do.
Are you going to be back?
Yes. Yeah, we are. Yeah. Well, we have to return the movie too now.
Because it's rented, so.
Yeah, we gotta return it.
That is amazing and very well done. Some great handiwork there as well. Now, if only I didn't throw away my DVD player way back in the day. That is our program for this Friday evening. Brittany is back with you on the desk next week, but now I'm heading over to radio for a little while. So I'll see you again soon. Have a great weekend.